G'day guys, Rick Williams. Just a preview of race 4 tomorrow at Moonee Valley. It looks not a bad race. It's not the best of meetings tomorrow. There's some ordinary horses going around, but this looks not a bad one to preview. Over the mile for the mares, we've got a couple of key form lines here, and one of them looks to on my end be a bit stronger. So we'll just run through runner by runner, and if you've got any questions about any of these horses, you can just send us an email. Start with Hoolalua. Look, she resumed from a very long break at Moonee Valley 2 starts back, and ran pretty well. It was off of a soft tempo and went up to Sydney and on a bottomless track and was flogged by 30 lengths. It's very hard to come into this horse at the moment, and I think that it's sort of worth just working around this horse. We really need to see how it performs, under the full stress of a race, and it needs to be at a higher level before we can get interested. Spirit of Heaven. Look, I thought that her first 3 runs this prep have been good. She's able to sort of get through the soft to sticky tracks. Resumed at Moonee Valley over 1200 and ran on pretty well. And then out to Cranbourne over 1400 behind Lucky I'm Barefoot. And then I really liked its last run, where it got back and hit the line well. They didn't go hard early, but it was a really strong last 800 and, quite slick sectionals off of a soft pace. Oliver Sticks. The sort of query with this horse is, will the track sort of allow these run-on horses to get back and run on tomorrow, and really that's the question. But I think Spirit of Heaven looks one of the 2 main hopes. To be honest, this horse is going it's going all right. It won at Ballarat 2 starts ago, won at Ballarat 3 starts ago, so it did win a couple in a row, and the form's sort of okay. It doesn't really have a big speed figure, although it's sort of been performing okay around this class. I sort of think it just they might be a little bit too slick for her, but she's going to get herself into a pretty good spot, I think, from the draw. She maps pretty well and should get a good run, but there's just a couple of others that rate a bit better on speed. On to Digger Pony, and it's the top raider. We touched a little bit earlier on Spirit of Heaven, and Digger Pony comes through the same race. She's another one that's going to get back, and really the way the track plays will certainly dictate how she can finish off. Her last 400 was really good. She finished quite well and was a bit stronger than Spirit of Heaven. She's also been able to win well over a mile in the past, and is proven on soft tracks. So it's pretty sort of hard to go past her. She gets the good map. Can she settle a little bit closer? Barrier 6, and she had the first start run at Ballarat on the heavy, which was a failure, and then bounced back at Flemington. She was around 3.5 weeks between runs, so you'd think she's going to springboard out to a mile and with the extra fitness under her belt. So I think she looks really hard to beat tomorrow, providing that the track's in good order. Aliana, she sort of hasn't fired this campaign. She's got some good runs. They're generally all on firmer tracks. She has gone okay at various times on sort of dead range tracks, but on the really wet, she really hasn't done anything. Her best run this prep was at Morphettville. It was a fair run, and it was on what we'd probably consider a track closer to good. So I'm not sort of sure where she sits at this stage of her campaign, and if it's a sticky sort of track, she's one I think we can work around. On to First Bloom. Look, she she goes quite well. She's another one that has got some pretty big speed figures and good runs, but they're generally on rock hard tracks. She can run well on the softer tracks, but they sort of haven't been, to the same standard. So she has been in races this campaign where they haven't really gone hard early. I'd expect that she'll probably get a decent sort of run. From the gate, Coffee's going to have to be switched on, and again, if the track's favouring horses that aren't far off the fence, and it's going to aid her, and she's certainly in the ballpark. Tomorrow, I think she looks a good chance. Shadow of the Mist sort of comes through the same form. It's a little bit the same. It's got a couple of big ratings for me, but you're sort of looking at wanting this horse to be more on a drier sort of track. It's beaten margins the last couple haven't been great, but the overall figures haven't really been through the roof either. So again, it's another one that it's drawn 7. Newitt's generally pretty aggressive, so you'd think that they'll probably push forward here. And again, if the track's certainly favouring those on pace, you sort of have to give it another couple of ticks. So we'll monitor Shadow of the Mist. Savannah Moon, look, she's a nice type of mare. She can certainly pull a run out. She certainly goes quite well over a mile and hit the line really well and pulled away for a strong win at Bendigo. She's sort of got the figures here and there, but has really been unable to stamp a few big ones together in a row. But that aside, she's certainly, when I'm looking at the race, she's a horse that I might have to review a little bit going forward. The figures might be a little bit too light on her, and I think we might need a bit of an adjustment. Onto Domino Vitale, and horse has been up for a long time. It had its first run this campaign back in December, and it's had numerous freshens. 3 weeks between runs, multiple occasions, 1, 2, 3, 4 occasions, and on 2 other occasions has had a 42-day break and a 54-day break. Look, I thought it hit the line quite well at Flemington last start. The Her Story form's pretty good. It had the best 400 of the day, but it was off an absolute walk early. So, I can understand why people might like this horse. It just might be a little bit too deep for it, I think. But it wouldn't totally shock. But the others are looking a little bit better. On the Testy Sue, and she didn't have. A lot probably go right last start at Pakenham. Were on her. It was a very soft tempo. The rider probably should have pushed through and led and controlled the race, and I think the outcome may have been a little bit different. Prior to that, it was quite a big win at Pakenham on the synthetic. It pulled away for a big win by 4 lengths, and certainly if we track its form back to Perth, it's got some speed figures that are around the 104, 105 mark, which sort of suggests midweek grade. And I still think that's probably where it sits. So it's coming to town here off runs at Cranbourne, Horsham, Bendigo, Edenhope, and Pakenham. So it's going to be a pretty big step for this horse to sort of take out a race, like this, against a couple of horses like Spirit of Heaven and Digger Pony that can run to a level of 115 on speed, and it's certainly way down. A big step also up in class for Testy Sue. And then we finish with Takeover, who, look, can pull a run out, this horse, but I think that we can probably work around it. One of the bookies actually opened it up at around $9. It's out to, I think, 40 at the moment on the book. So someone somewhere has liked it for some reason. And again, it's probably a little bit like Testy Sue. It sort of ran to around 102 to 104 on the speed. And again, that's sort of, it's sort of around your midweek or quite a weak Saturday race, and I just don't think that's what we've got here. If Spirit of Heaven and Aliana, Spirit of Heaven and Digger Pony, the Moonee runners, if they're sort of able to replicate what they've done class and speed wise over their latest runs, and the tracksuit, Sam, I think that they're certainly the two horses that you want to be with here. If I sort of take them out of the market, then as you can see, there's not a great spread over the rest. It's quite narrow. There's sort of 2-3 lengths over the rest of the field. So going into tomorrow, if it's a level playing field and the track's racing really well, at this stage, the suggestion would be to take the value around Digger Pony and Spirit of Heaven. If the track's severe leaders or anything like that, then the suggestion would be to probably just sit it out. What we'll do is we'll rejig the markets to obviously counteract that bias, and that'll change our prices, and the members would be updated. So that concludes our look at race 4 tomorrow. Thanks for having a look, and good luck with your punting.